You having troubles, Brooklyn? Good morning. Was it not connecting for you? Oh, I see. Yeah, one never knows. Did you have a good weekend? No homework. Yes, mine was good. Very good. Went on a little road trip, which is one of my favorite things to do. Exactly. We went to we made a couple of stops. One of them was in Joplin, Missouri, which I had never been there before. And I was pleasantly surprised. And that's kind of what road trips are for, you just kind of drive around and see which you find out. And so that was nice. And then we went further south to the almost to the Oklahoma border, basically. And went through some little towns down around there, which were pleasantly surprising as well. So just kind of checking things out, going to a part of the country where you've never been before. Good morning, Joe Marion. Sometimes I see these little towns and I think, how do these people make a living? How do they do how do they live so remotely, Manage somehow. Actually, Joplin, Missouri was bigger than I thought it was going to be. It's pretty big. Yeah. Good morning, Arshad, Malia. How are you guys? Do you have a good weekend? I just noticed there's a spider above my head. Okay, so while we wait for Marlasia, see if she joins us, you guys, let's work on what I have behind me. Yo compro una manzana. Can't see my finger yet. Yo compro una manzana para mi madre. So we got to figure out what this means. Make a guess at the general idea, if not word for word. So let's start there. Yo compro una manzana para mi madre. What do you think it's saying? You can unmute, you guys, or you can pop it in the chat. What do you think? Well, we know what compro is, right? What is compro? Okay, so we have to be, you're right, we have to be careful. So bought would be something I did like yesterday, right? Or I did earlier. So that would be like past tense. But this is present tense, something I'm doing now. So how would I translate that? Yes, very good, Arshad. I buy, right? Una manzana. Who else remembers who else besides Brooklyn remembers una manzana? Good morning, Marlasia. What's una manzana? We're trying to figure out what this means, Marlasia or Malia, if you guys want to toss your ideas in the chat or even unmute. Jomarian, how about you? What is una manzana? An apple. Okay, so I buy an apple, and then what's the rest of this? What's your guess? Yeah, very good, Malia. For my mom, right? So I buy an apple for my mom. All right, easy peasy. Well, let's look down here. Yo la compro para mi madre. So what is this sentence saying, you guys? And what is the meaning of the word la in this context? Is it the same sentence? Different sentence? What do y'all think? What do you think that la is referring to? Yo la compro para mi madre. So what do you think the la is referring to? Give it a shot, you guys. Remember, our chat is where we are supposed to make mistakes, right? Malia, Marlasia, Arshad, Jamarian, what do you think? Yo la compro para mi madre. Make a guess. What do you think the la is referring to? Anybody? What's the la referring to? Well, let me ask you this. Is la masculine or feminine? It's feminine, right? Okay. So up here, we have two things that are feminine, don't we? We have the apple, una manzana, and we have the mom, right? But over here, we still have mom in the sentence. Isn't that right? Y'all follow me? So what do you think this la is talking about? What do you think it's referring to? What we still have the mom over here, right? And we have to remember that compro is to buy. So what am I buying up here, you guys? What am I buying? I'm buying the apple. Isn't the apple a feminine thing? Una, right? So look what happens. I'm buying it for my mom. Ooh, y'all see how that's working? Yes or no? I replaced the word apple with the word it. Okay. And because apple is feminine and singular, we use this word la. So you guys have heard la, la, la. La means the, right? But depending upon how we use it, it can also mean it if it's a feminine and singular item. Okay. So you guys, this is our next step up in Spanish. And we will spend quite a bit of time on figuring out how it all works. Okay. And if we have time today, we'll actually get into it today. But I wanted to just kind of throw it out there, right? So I buy an apple for my mom. I buy it for my mom. What are we doing? We're graduating. Yeah. We're moving to the next level, because up until this point, you guys, we've been talking like little kids. If you have any younger siblings or family members, you know that little kids are like, oh, the doggy's cute. The doggy barks. The doggy, right? They never replace it with like it. Yeah. Until they develop to a certain language level, right? So that's what we're going to try to do. We're going to try to stop talking like maybe 2 or 3-year-olds, right? And start figuring out a different level of speech. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? See or no? See? Okay, so let's warm up a little bit today. I hope y'all had a good weekend. And get my screen organized here. Let's see. You guys excited for Halloween? Do y'all like Halloween? Yeah, I do too. I like Halloween. Okay, so behind me, you guys, hoy es lunes, it's Monday, el 15 marzo. Marzo? No, Oh, it should be septiembre. Where did marzo come from? I don't know. Anyway, el 15 de septiembre vamos a empezar un grande repaso gramatical, which we were supposed to do last week and we didn't get to since I overplanned. And then if we have time, you guys, we're going to practice with what we just did. We saw that la replacing the word for apple, okay? Some of you seniors are, I don't know if you guys signed up, but they have that LOTT thing on Tuesday and Wednesday. So, Brooklyn, did you sign up? Or Arshad, did you sign up? They're going to send out a list, but I just thought I'd ask and as a reminder. Okay, perfect. So if you go on Wednesday, you just want to make sure that you check the YouTube playlist for what we do in class, right? Well, since you guys are going to be on that field trip or whatever you're doing. Okay. All righty. Muy bien. So let's get started. Let's warm up a little. I have, first of all, a short, did I lose it? Yes, here it is. Okay. A short, whatchamajigger exercise. It's Monday. Man, is it Monday? All right. So give me a second here. All right. It's a listening exercise. All right, you guys. So let's make sure that we have y'all can hear and make sure that y'all can see. And I'm going to share my screen. So I need everybody to join me here. Okay. All right. Let me make this large. Okay. So let's take a look, first of all, at our instructions, okay? It says, escucha, listen, y decide, and decide. Chef Ayaka is telling Tess and Patricia what ingredients they have to buy, right? So, comprar. He mentions 3 stores that they need to go to. Listen and decide which store they will not go to, okay? Listen and decide which store they will not go to, right? So we have la carniceria, la fruteria, la pescaderia, and la panaderia, right? So quick listening exercise. I slowed it down. And just so you guys know, when you're assigned a listening exercise in VHL, because this is in our textbook, if you click these little dots here, it'll give you the playback speed. And you can slow it down or speed it up or whatever y'all need to do. Okay. Just an FYI in future. Let me make sure I left it at, yeah. Okay. Muy bien. All right. So let's listen carefully. Make sure y'all can hear what ingredients they have to buy. He mentions 3 stores. You are listening for the store they will not go to. Okay.
Hola Tess, hola Patricia. Para cocinar su plato, ustedes necesitan varios ingredientes. Lo primero, carne. Tienen que ir a la carnicería para comprarla. ¿Qué más? Sí. En la frutería pueden comprar las verduras, las papas, los tomates. Y también pueden comprar pan en la panadería.
Okay, there's your choices. And I'm going to play it again. Okay, so listen carefully.
Hola Tess, hola Patricia. Para cocinar su plato, ustedes necesitan varios ingredientes. Lo primero, carne. Tienen que ir a la carnicería para comprarla. ¿Qué más? Sí. En la frutería pueden comprar las verduras, las papas, los tomates. Y también pueden comprar pan en la panadería.
Okay, make your choice. A, la carnicería. B, la frutería. C, la pescadería. Or D, la panadería. Which one did not need to go to? A, B, C, or D? Or if you need me to play it again. Good, Marlesia. Good, Brooklyn. Malia and Arshad, Jomarian. Yes, one more time, no problem. Okay, listen carefully. The one that he does not mention, right?
Hola Tess, hola Patricia. Para cocinar su plato, ustedes necesitan varios ingredientes. Lo primero, carne. Tienen que ir a la carnicería para comprarla. ¿Qué más? Sí. En la frutería pueden comprar las verduras, las papas, los tomates. Y también pueden comprar pan en la panadería.
Okay, so which one did he not mention? A, B, C, or D? Arshad, Malia, what you think? Jomarian? Good, Malia. Jomarian and Arshad? Which one did he not mention? Arshad, make a guess. Good, Jomarian. All right, y'all said C. Very good. He did not say that they needed fish, la pescaderia. So that's where they would not go. He mentioned carne. He mentioned that you can get papas and stuff like that at the fruteria. He mentioned pan, so la panaderia. So the one that you don't need is la pescaderia. Now, you guys remember that he said tienes que. And we looked at that last week, right? Tener means to have. If we stick that que on the in there, it all of a sudden it means that we must do something or that we have to do something. Okay. So he used tienes que comprar or something like that. You have to buy blah 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 for what they were cooking. Okay. All right, that was our little warm up. Okay. I need for what we're going to do, if I can find my slides, is, you guys, we are going to do this repaso gramatical, right? Super duper important. If you are a note taker, like Brooklyn, I know that your Spanish experience is a little different. If you are a note taker, okay, this is the time you really want to jot some things down, okay? Because what we're going to do is we're going to do this repaso gramatical, this grammar review, basically, of things that we should know, okay? Now, why are we doing it now? Well, because like I just said at the beginning of class, we're going to start kicking it up, which means we need to be building on whatever foundation we have. And so I need to make sure that you all have seen what you need to see. I also need to make sure that if you all have questions or things that you need clarified, now is the time, okay? Because we are going to build on these things, right? These are things that we should already sort of have a sense for, okay? Any questions about what we're doing? Okay. Please, this is super duper important, you guys. Like I said, ask questions. Now, I will say that you have examples of all of these things in the resource library, but examples sometimes, although good things, you still have to have a sense of how these things work, okay? All right. All right, well, I thought I would take attendance real quick. Okay. All right. Malia, so what I was saying was that we're doing this grammar review, and that if you're a note taker, you need to take notes, because this is what we're supposed to know at this stage of the game so that we can add to it, so we can build upon it. Okay. All right, here we go. Now, we had, and if I go too fast or if I go too slow, let me know, okay? We had in our vocab, one of our verbs was provar, which was to test or to taste in the context of food, right? We're going to taste it. We're going to check it out. Okay. So, provar. So it's a regular AR verb. And again, if we're going to build on what we need to know, right, then we have to know the basic AR verb endings. So if we had a regular AR verb, in other words, one that followed a regular pattern, our endings would be O, ASA, amos, and on, right? Provar is an irregular stem changer. So it's O to UE. So if I say I'm testing or I'm tasting something to see how good it is or whatever, yo pruebo, pruebo. It's a stem changer. Okay. Regular AR endings, O, ASA, almost and on, but it's a stem changer. So if you're going to use it in a sentence, or if you see it in a sentence, you need to make that connection. Okay. Okay. And we're going to practice these in just a second, right? Then we have estar. Estar is an AR verb, but it is irregular. So it does not follow the normal pattern. It's irregular. Okay, I'm just going to abbreviate. Now, what it means to be. So if I want to say I am, you are, he, she is, you are formal, we are, and they are, or you all are, right? We would say estoy, estás, está, estamos, and están. So what exactly makes this irregular? Well, you got to have the accent mark here. Okay. Because without them, it's a different word. So that's number one. Number two, instead of being OASA, it's OY. So we've taken our yo and we flip-flop it. Yo, Y-O, estoy, O-Y. Now, I thought it was soy, right? Soy alta, I am tall. Okay. Soy estudiante, I am a student. I thought it was soy. Well, in Spanish, as a reminder, we have two verbs to say I am, you are, etc., etc. So when do we use this one? We use this one when we are talking about emotions. We use this one when we are talking about things that are temporary, like the weather. Okay. So temporary is when we use estar. Emotions change as well, right? So that's one reason why we use a form of estar. Okay. Just like anything else, just like any other verb that we're going to look at, you guys, you need to remember, super duper important. If you were with me last year, I ran this into the ground. When you see these verb charts, any of them, what's on the left is singular forms, right? Yo, I am one person. You are one person. He is one person. She is one person. Usted is one person when you're being formal. Anything on the left, or rather on the right, is going to be plural. So we are, estamos, we is plural. There's more than one person. And our clue here, our hack, is always going to be yo. You're always going to include yourself. In English, we say Bob and I. Bob and I are going to the store. Who's going to the store? We are. Right? Because I'm including myself. So anytime in Spanish you see and I, y yo, it's always going to be nosotros. It's always going to be we. If you want to say they, right? They is more than one person. You're talking about them. And ustedes with an es on the end is our plural for usted, right, you guys? And it's saying you all, you all. Okay. So why is singular and plural so important? For a host of reasons, but when we do like assignments and stuff in class, right? And you need to find the correct form of the verb, right? If you know that something in the sentence, like if it's plural, you know that none of these in the singular side are going to be an option. So it helps you to like process of elimination. It helps you to eliminate the ones you don't need so that you can focus on what you do. Okay, does that make sense? Yes? Okay. The other thing that we need to be aware of is in our verb charts. Again, this is mostly for folks who didn't have me last year, right? In our verb charts. Remember that if these are singular and these are plural, that it works this way, right? They go across the chart from singular to plural. So for example, if I were to say, if I gave you a sentence, right? Estoy triste. I am sad. Estoy triste. And I say to you, okay, how do we make this plural? Then in your brain, you should try to have that mental image in your brain that estoy, if we go across the chart and it's yo, I'm including myself, it has to be me and somebody else. Bob and I are sad. Nosotros estamos tristes, right? So know that these things work across. Now, why is this one different? Because we don't use vosotros, so this would come down here as well, right? Tú, plural, would become ustedes. Okay. All right. Any questions about what I'm talking about here, especially for those of you who weren't with me last year? Okay, so our verb estar is one of the two verbs in Spanish to be able to say I am, you are, he is, we are, they are, you all are. And so, again, we use it for temporary things. We use it for emotions. We use it for the weather, things that are going to change, okay? All right, so let's practice, you guys. So let's look here. Notice I got singulars on the left, plurals on the right. Okay, so here's what I'm saying. So if we want to fill in this blank with the correct form of estar, it's mis amigos. So tell me, you can unmute or you can pop it in the chat. In number one, mis amigos, is that singular or plural? It doesn't matter if you know what it means. Is it singular or plural? Good, Malia. Good. Okay. You guys got it. So they're plural. So see, we don't even have to know what the heck they're talking about, right? We can see that it's plural. We have to remember what I told you guys. Tools. Words are tools. We have to manipulate them. We just have to figure out how to use them. Okay. All right. So mis amigos is plural, which means if I'm going to fill in this blank, I don't need any of these. Y'all with me? Right? I have that mental image in my head that these are singular over here, so I don't need any of these. And I know, right, we can get rid of this one. Okay, all right. So that gives me nosotros or one of these. okay, which is the same. So is it we, you guys? Does this thing say and I? Does it say yo? It does not. Therefore, our only choice is this. Do y'all see what I'm getting at here? Yes or no? Yes. So my point is this. We make mental images all the time. We play our games. We look at our phones and we know how to navigate, how to go back, how to go do this, how to do that, right? We make mental images all the time without realizing it. Making a mental image of singulars and plurals is super duper important, because when you go to use the language, even in a real life scenario, there's going to be words you're not sure of, but if you recognize that they are singular or plural, you can finish the sentence. You can create a thought to communicate with somebody else. Okay. So it's super duper important. Okay. I'm going to erase my scribbles. All right. So número dos, tell me in chat, how do I fill in this blank? Usted what? Or unmute. It would go faster if you unmuted, but whatever you feel comfortable with. Okay, Brooklyn, Malia, good. Good, Marlasia. Gentlemen, usted what? Jamarian, what would I fill in the blank with? Come on, Arshad, let me hear from you. Usted, match it up. Usted está, right? We got to have that accent mark because otherwise it means something else. So, usted está en la biblioteca. Are you at the library? Right? Or are you in the library? Location. We use a star also for location. Okay. All right. How about número tres? Number three. Yo, what? Yo, good, Brooklyn.
Estoy.
Estoy. Muy bien. Yo estoy en la tienda. Estoy en la tienda. Okay. All right. Número siete. Let's skip down here. Number 7. Ustedes. Very good. Jamarian. Number 7 is plural, right? Good, Brooklyn. Good, Arshad. Yeah, how do we know it's plural? Right here, right? Es. It's not usted, but ustedes. So make that mental note. Está becomes están. Very good. Are you guys at the butcher shop? Right? Ustedes están. Is that where you are? Is that your location? Because remember, we use a star for location as well as temporary things. Okay. All right. So any questions about estar, you guys? All right. Let's try this next one. Again, these are all things that we should have seen at some point or another, things that we need to know so that we can build where we're going, right? So el verbo ir. Ir means to go. So if we're going to shop, if we're going to these stores, right, we're going to need to know how to say go. We also use go like in English. Like in English, we would say, we had in our example, I buy an apple for my mom, right? Generally speaking, I buy apples for my mom, okay? It's something I do. We could also say, I'm going to buy apples for my mom. I'm not doing it right now as we speak. I'm going to do it Friday when I go to the store, right? Or I'm going to do it later this afternoon. I'm going to buy, right? Or I'm going to school, or I'm going to the fruit shop or whatever, right? So go, I mean, think about how many times a day we use go in English. So it's going to be a similar thing in Spanish, right? Okay, so taking a look at this, you guys, What do you notice? What is similar to estar here? Now, this is also an irregular verb. So what do you notice that is similar? Do you see a pattern here? Like estar. Okay, very good, Brooklyn. So the yo form, the yo flip-flops, and we have oy. What else is similar? We're looking for similarities. What else is similar to an AR verb or estar? Make a guess. Wrong answers are welcome. Okay. What is similar? Let me go back. What is similar, you guys? Here was a star, right? We already said the yo form, oy. Okay. What else is similar? Okay, the tu ending. Yes, as. Anything else? Malia, Arshad, Marlesia. Okay, so let's think about it. We said estar was an AR verb, but it was irregular because of the yo estoy and because of the accent marks, right? And we looked at provar, to taste or to try. And we said that regular AR verb endings were o, asa, amos, and on. So check it out here. Our endings here, asa, amos, and on. These are regular AR verb endings. If you have a regular verb like to sing, right? Cantar, or to talk, hablar. ASA, almost an on. So the irregular one, just like a star, is yo. Right? But these are regular AR verb endings. This verb has the same endings as estar, if that helps you. So what is different is the word, the root. Okay? Remember that normally when we take a verb, we drop the AR, for example, and we find the stem or the root of the word, and then we add the proper ending. So what's different here is that the whole word changes. Ear becomes a V. See, this becomes our stem or our root. And then we just add our endings like we had with a star. Did y'all see this? Yes or no? Yes. If we can, again, look for patterns, right? If we know that ear works like a star, okay, and we can remember a star gets oi, as, almost on, right? It makes things easier. I don't have to remember that ear specifically, right? Or I don't have to remember a star specifically if I can remember ear. So if we can find those patterns, then that's what we need to do. Okay? So I go, yo voy. Tú vas, you go. Él va, he goes. Nosotros vamos, we go. Ellos van, they go. Right? Okay, questions about ear? All right, well, let's see what we can do. Okay, let's do the first one together. Manuel blank a la biblioteca. So Manuel goes to the library. Which one do I use? Okay, thank you, Brooklyn. Jamarian, Arshad, Malia. Which one do I use here for numero uno? Manuel goes to the library. Which one do I use? Good, Malia. Jamarian. Good, Marlasia. Arshad. Come on, gentlemen, I need your undivided attention. Good. So Manuel va, right? He goes to the library. Okay. All right. Let's try number 2. Mis amigos y yo a la tienda de ropa. My friends and I go to the clothing store. Good, Brooklyn. Good, Marlasia. Good, Arshad. What's our clue here, you guys? It's plural, y yo, which tells me it's nosotros. Okay, anytime you see y yo, automatically think nosotros. So our answer is vamos. Also, remember that this is all plural, mis amigos y yo. Okay, and so if it's all plural, we're not going to need any of these other singular ones, right? These are our singulars. These are our plurals. Okay. Okay. How about número 3? I go to biology class. Good, Brooklyn. Good, Malia. Good, Marlasia. Okay. I go, yo voy. Right? Yo voy. Very good. Okay. Let's skip down here a second and let's look at number 7. Número 7. El señor Hernández. Mr. Hernandez is going to pay, like the bill, right? Because we're shopping. Mr. Hernandez is going to pay. What do we do? Good, Brooklyn. Good, Arshad. Yep, good, Jamarian. So ask yourself, is Mr. Hernandez singular or plural? Right? And that's going to help you eliminate some. Okay, and then am I talking about myself, or am I saying you, or am I saying he? So then make your choice. You have to narrow it down. So if you said va, you're absolutely right. He goes to pay, right? Mr. Hernandez is going to pay the bill, right? Okay, let's try número 11. Número 11. Mis amigas. My friends are not going to buy bread. Good, Brooklyn. Marlasia, good job. Malia. Joe Marion, what do you say? Is it singular or plural? Mis amigas. Process of elimination, right? We have to train our brain. There you go. Anybody else? Okay, so if it's plural, right? Mis amigas. So our only choices are vamos or van. Well, if I'm not saying we, if I'm not including myself, I'm talking about my friends, which would be ellas. I'm talking about them. I'm saying they, right? So they don't go, because there's a no here. They don't go to buy bread. Okay. All right. Now, there's a couple of other things that we need to point out here. Let me erase all my scribblies. Okay. All right. So take a look, you guys. We have Manuel va a la biblioteca. Is biblioteca, library, is it masculine or feminine? Tell me M or F. biblioteca, feminine. Okay, good job, Marlacia. How about this one? A la tienda de ropa. La tienda de ropa. Is it masculine or feminine? Number 2. Feminine or masculine? Number 2. Okay, good. Feminine, right? How about a la clase de biología? Masculine or feminine? Feminine. Okay. How about this one? Al centro comercial. Al centro. Masculine or feminine? Okay, Marlacia, good job. Anyone else? Al centro comercial. Good, Brooklyn. Masculine. How about al restaurante? Restaurante, masculine or feminine? Okay, good. So what do we notice? If the place is feminine or the thing is feminine, it remains a la, right? Manuel goes to the library. My friends and I are going to the clothing store. I'm going to the biology class. The students are going to the mall, but because it's masculine, right? Or you all are going to the restaurant. We make a contraction, right? Centro would be el centro or el restaurante or el supermercado, right? But when we want to say to the, we have to make this contraction. A plus L becomes al. Doesn't change the meaning at all, right? We just have to remember if it's feminine, to the library stays the same, a la. But if we're going someplace masculine, al restaurante, it becomes al. We make a contraction, like do and not become don't in English, right? Well, here we have to pay attention to masculine or feminine, singular or plural, as always. Okay. All right. Any questions there about those contractions? No? Okay. All righty. I'm gonna clear my scribblies. Okay. So obviously we're not going to do all 9 of these, but I would like to see you take the prompts and put a sentence either in the chat or you can unmute. Okay. And I'm gonna pick one first of all, right? And let's do numero 5. So I'll give you a couple of minutes. We have Clara y Victor. And then we have the computer lab. El laboratorio de computación is a big old long word for computer lab. So we want to say Clara and Victor are going or go to the computer lab. So how would we do it? Pop it in the chat. Remember, that's our scrap paper. Clara and Victor go to the computer lab. How do I do that? Feel free to make as many mistakes as you need. Okay, so I want to see the whole sentence in the chat, please. Okay, Brooklyn. I want to hear from everyone. You guys, please feel free to make mistakes. That's what we do together, right? That's what we're supposed to be working on together as a group. Perfect, Marlacia. Give it a try, you guys. I don't care that there's mistakes. That's what we're supposed to be working out. Give it your best shot. All right, Jamarian. Thank you. Gracias. Arshad and Malia. Let me see what you come up with. Okay, very good, Malia. Arshad. We're gonna look at them together here in just a second. Arshad, you have something? Okay, so let's check it out. I hope you all can see my text box down here at the bottom. If you can't, let me know, okay? All right, so let's think about it. Clara y Victor. Singular or plural, you guys? Plural, right? Clara and Victor. If it's plural, right? If it's plural, then we know that my choices have to come from here, because these are my plural choices. If I'm not including myself, if I'm not saying and I, then that gets rid of vamos. So my only choice is going to be van. Everybody see how I did that, right? So I can say Clara, and I'm going to abbreviate. Clara y Victor van. Okay, can y'all see my text box? Give me a thumbs up. Yes? Okay. Well, then where are they going, right? They're going to the laboratory. Is the laboratory masculine or feminine? It's masculine. So if I need to say to or at, right? If I'm going to say to or at, I need to look over here. To or at. My a plus L. See, I got an L here, right? My word to or at is ah. I have to make a contraction. Okay. And so van al laboratorio, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to abbreviate. Okay. Everybody see what I did? Yes or no? If I have to add the word to or at here, Clara and Victor, since they're going, we wouldn't say in English they're going the lab. We would say they're going to the lab, which is this word ah. Okay. And if it's something that's feminine, we don't have to worry about it. It's just going to be Allah. But if it's a masculine thing, we have to make that contraction. Okay. All right. Let's try, you guys, one more. Número ocho. Número ocho. Number 8. Let's try number 8. Mi abuela, and you don't even have to know what that is. Ask yourself, is it singular or plural? Okay. And then el supermercado. I should probably erase my scribblies. Yep. We already did that one, so we're here. Oops. Perfect, Malaysia. Perfect, Joe Marion. Oh, check again, Joe Marion, one little thing. We're using the verb go, Malia. Brooklyn. Think about your sentence in English. Think about your sentence in English, word for word, right? This is writing practice, is what we're doing, right, you guys? We all need writing practice because that's hard. Writing and speaking are the two hard things. Arshad, you have something? Okay. Yeah, that's okay. All right. So very good. Very good. So mi abuela, again, we don't even have to know what that is, but it's singular. It happens to be my grandma, right? Or she. So it's singular, mi abuela. If it's singular, and it's she, because I'm not talking about myself and I'm not talking to you, then my choice is va. And I think you all got that. Okay. But we need to say that she goes to someplace. Our word for to or at is the word a. If supermercado is masculine, we make the contraction a plus l becomes al. Supermercado. Okay? Because without that word you guys, we're saying my grandmother goes the supermarket. We need to say to, right? Or at, if that's what we're going to use. If we're going to use a star, right, then we would use that verb, right? But it would be the same thing, right? She is at the supermarket. Okay. Okay, not difficult, but all the little things that we have to remember. Okay, so does anybody have any questions about these contractions? No? All right, I'm gonna clear all that out. And erase that. Okay, bueno. So once again, you guys, meaning to or at, plus someplace that's masculine becomes al. Same thing if you're from, like if you're coming from, meaning they, and it's masculine place that you're coming from, it would contract to make del, right? So again, these are things that we just need to be aware of, okay? Bueno. Okay, and we said that everything on the right is feminine and everything on the left right here is masculine. And so you can see how we make those contractions. Now, notice you guys, if something is plural, we don't have to worry about. Okay. Same thing if it was masculine. If it's plural, we don't have to worry about making the contractions, only with L, A and L, or de and L. Okay. All right. Any questions there? Okay. Muy bien. Take a breath. Regular AR verbs like hablar, asa, amos, and an. Remember, again, you guys, singulars over here, plurals over here. Okay. asa, like we've been looking at today, amos, and an. But what if it's not a regular AR verb? Okay. Well, we're going to see in just a second. Some AR verbs that help us to go shopping: necesitar, to need; comprar, to buy; pagar, to pay; buscar, to look for. So if I wanted to say I need, clase, yo necesito, right? Because I would get rid of my ending. I would find my root or stem. And then I would add whatever ending I needed here. Yo necesito, right? Tú necesitas. Okay. If I wanted to say he or she is buying, again, I get rid of my AR. That leaves me this. He or she is buying. Just add my ending, compra. Okay. Or compramos, or compran, or compro. Okay. So once again, as long as we know what these mean and they're regular verbs, all we got to do is get rid of that ending, that AR ending, or whatever you want to call it here, the AR. Find our root or our stem, and then apply whatever we need here. If it's yo form, if it's tu form, whoever we're talking to or whoever we're talking about. Okay. Questions? Okay. Once again, I'm moving fast. So if I'm going too fast, y'all need to let me know. Okay. All right. So here we have some, again, regular AR verbs. We may not even know what they mean, and it makes absolutely no difference. If we look at our chart, we got singulars up here and we have plurals over here. Okay. So let's look at number 3. How would I fill in the blank? I'm not even going to give you all the clue. I'm not going to tell you what it means. Nothing. Our verb is this one. We're using the verb that's in parentheses here. So how would we fill in this blank? Perfect, Malaysia. Anyone else? Give it your best shot. Okay, Brooklyn. Malia, good job. Rashad and Jamarian. What do you say for number 3? So remember that our first step, if it's an AR verb, our first step, you guys, good, Arshad, is to get rid of the AR. If it's an AR verb, we get rid of the AR. That gives us our root or our stem. And then, because in this case, it's tu, we're going to apply the tu ending. And so, miras. You have to get rid of the AR if it's an AR verb, right? And then apply the proper ending based on who you're talking to or about. Okay. All right. Let's try number 9, way down here at the bottom. It's ustedes, and our verb is pagar. Ustedes and pagar. So what do I do? Good, Malaysia. Good, Brooklyn. Good, Malia. Jamarian, how about this one? Ustedes and pagar. Is it singular or plural, Jamarian? Ustedes. There you go. Okay, you guys, so we would get rid of the AR to find our stem or root, PAG. It's ustedes plural, right? So I know it's not me. I'm not including myself. It's not we, right? And so it's going to be on. Pagan. You all, good, Arshad. You all are paying with a credit card. Ustedes pagan. Okay. All right. Muy bien. Any questions, you guys? Any questions about any of this? I'm going to stop sharing. Any questions about any of this? It's a lot, right? But we're going to take all of that and we're going to build on it. So we need to make sure that we understand kind of how these things work. Okay. And y'all did a great job. Yeah. Okay. Last thing for us to do today is a couple of just housekeeping things. I had asked you guys to create a storyboard using querer and preferir, to want and to prefer. Okay. To date, I only have one from Brooklyn and one from Malaysia. If you turned it into me, then tell me where I can find it. If you have not turned it into me, you need to do it. Okay. Storyboard. Remember, we did the storyboard and I said, make your avatars, make whatever you want to make. Maximum 3 slides. It doesn't even have to be 3 slides. It can be 1 slide as long as there's a lot going on and you're using those verbs, querer and preferir, right? And gustar if you want. I like, I want, I prefer. Okay. So if you have not done that storyboard, I'm just reminding you that we need to get that completed. Okay. You can check in VHL and make sure that you have everything completed. For this section, you have a presentación. You also have something called de compras con tes and que receta to practice this vocabulary before we move on to the grammar. I'm heading over to Canvas. Yeah. So you should see all of those. If you have not completed those, then please do, as well as the storyboard. So we have about 4 minutes. You might want to check out where your storyboard is. You started it, where you left it, if you left it somewhere. If you haven't completed the vocab exercises for this desafío dos, or desafío dos, they're here in Canvas, right? This presentación, de compras con tes, and que receta. Got the little brain power happening. We're getting ready to start these direct object pronouns like we did with the apple today. So it's real important that we have everything else behind us. Yeah. Kind of start fresh, turn a page. Okay. So if I can help you with that, let me know. Remember, you guys, I have office hours tomorrow. You can sign up for from 1:45 to 2:40. I'm glad to see you guys working on your VHL. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay, that's our time, you guys. Great job today. Remember, if you want to revisit any of those things, they're all in the resource library, the forms of ear and et cetera, AR verbs and all that goodness. You can take a look in there. All right, you guys have a great rest of your day. Nos vemos miércoles, right? See you Wednesday. Have fun on your field trip, Brooklyn. All right. All right. Adios a todos. Have a great day, you guys. Adios.